My friend, it is the number one duty, the goal, the target, the objective of today's shadow government media to destroy everything that even resembles rational thinking on your part. Any kind of rational, investigative thought they want to destroy. It is the goal of everyone on cable today. Let's start with cable. Let's be very, very, very clear. If it's on cable, and I mean regular cable, not streaming cable, which is almost redundant, it is their job to destroy what you're thinking. And nothing is more obvious than what is happening regarding the Wagner or Wagner, I don't know which one to pronounce it, and Prigozhin and this mutiny. Are you listening to what's happening? Do you know how to triangulate the truth? If you and I sat together and I said, okay, tell me how to interpret the truth. Tell me what to do. What would you do? And I'm going to tell you this. Here's how you start to figure out. Number one, let's imagine we have a very big table. And we're going to use terms that don't make any sense, like newspapers. We're going to use terms that nobody uses in a newspaper. But we're going to use, because sometimes I say things, I even say albums sometimes. Not that I think there's albums, but that's the term I use for the drop of whatever the song is or whatever it is. First and foremost, issue number one. Remember, IRAC. Issue, rule, analysis, conclusion. IRAC. Critical thinking. Number one, what is the official story from the people in charge? For example, what is Russia saying about the Wagner mutiny? What is Wagner saying about, and I'm doing it on air quotes because I don't know exactly who represents these people that are supposedly there, okay? And then what do the Western folks say? What are they saying? What is their theory? How do they figure this thing out? And what do you know the truth to be? If you're not interested in this, join the club, because most Americans have absolutely no interest whatsoever in any of this. None of this. They couldn't care less about it. It's the strangest thing in the world. So that's the first story. Now, I'm going to tie something in with this. This is very interesting. I'm going to tie in, not just necessarily, how do I say this? I'm going to tie in not just this story, but the Titanic Sub, the Federal Reserve, conspiracy theories. It's the most incredible thing in the world, because you cannot understand what is happening unless you understand how these people work. Now, I've just thrown at you 3 different things which many people have a difficult time doing because it bothers them. But I would say I can handle 5 things at the same time. Let's start with Russia. First, what is the story? What are they telling you? First, go to the usual suspects. Go to CNN, see what they're being told. Why do I say this? Why would I go to CNN? Why would I go to CNN or MSDNC? Right, because they are the official mouthpiece of the ruling class, the shadow government, the people who run the show. Biden's got Corinne Jean-Pierre. The shadow government has CNN. Let's see what they're saying. What are they saying? This is the end of Putin, the end of Russia. This is the end. It's over. Finished. Done. It's through. Mutiny, right? Right? That's what you're being told. Mutiny, the end of Russia, the end of Putin. Okay. Now, go elsewhere. What does Russia say about this? What does China say about this? What does Asia say about this? What does Europe say about this? What are people saying? What does the New York Times say about this? Because every now and then, the New York Times, through Anthony Blinken and some unknown sources, are saying, well, this isn't exactly the end of Russia. This is from the New York Times. Okay, now we're on to something. Who is Prigozhin? Who is he? He's a restaurant owner. He was a caterer. He's this guy who looks like that feller from Breaking Bad, Mike Emmenthaler, or whatever his name is. He's just this, he's a nut. Putin's old friend, Putin's old buddy. They've known each other. Who are these people? What is the Wagner group? Are they mercenaries? What are they? Ragtag, Civil War, No, think more like the Foreign Legion. It's a different story. Who are they beholden to? Who are they fans of? Russia. They don't go over here. Now we're going to go to France, or we're going to go fight over there. Who are these people? They haven't told you enough. Who are these people? What do they want? What is their alignment with Prigozhin? What was he going to do? They were going to go to march to Russia. 30,000? No. 4,000, 5,000, whatever it was. They were going to march to Russia. You know what they've got garrisoned in Russia just right there at any moment? 50, 60,000? I don't know. With aircraft and air support and helicopters and missiles. What? Now, they want you to believe that these people, these mercs, these mercenaries, or whatever, they were going to march to Russia and take on, what, like an Allende coup? Is that kind of thing? 4,000, 5,000? What are you talking about? Does anybody know this? No. Because the official narrative is that this is the end of Putin. And once that starts, if they say, good job, Jacobson, good job. I can do another one, boss. Very good. And then the newsroom says, oh, okay. Why? Because they are told, they are trained, they are identified. They have been told, you are going to hate Putin. Just like you are going to hate conspiracy theories. Just like you're going to hate Alex Jones. You're going to hate Trump. You hate these people. And there are other things you do not ask questions about. You do not ask questions. Here's one. Here's a question nobody's really asking me about, but I think it's kind of interesting. Why was, I know I'm changing the subject, which I do, because sometimes in an adult conversation, sometimes you use a thought to verify something else. For example, why does Chelsea Clinton all of a sudden come forward and she says, we've got to support our trans kids? I talked about this last night. What is a trans kid? Where did Chelsea Clinton come from? She's in the group. She got the book. This is what we say. This is the shibboleth. Okay, we're for trans kids. Okay, fine. Trans kids. Trans kids it is. Why? I don't know. But if that Clinton Foundation's still there. Clinton Foundation's still there. Are they getting money? You betcha. Oh, yeah, baby. Mm-hmm. You don't talk about the Clinton Foundation, the Clinton Global Initiative, the Clinton Health Access Initiative. Remember those three we talked about? We don't talk about them anymore. So they told, listen, Chelsea, you're still a member of this group, right? You know, Vanguard works both ways. Oh, yes, of course I do. Great. So what you're going to do is you're going to go out and you're going to say it. So at Hudson Yards, downtown from us, the people are talking about kids being trans. Little kids being trans. Even though little kids don't know what their favorite color is. But she was there. Chelsea Clinton was there with the official line O, you know what, because she is a part of this. So let me start off by saying, before you do anything, before you even begin to even attempt to understand this, know how it works. Know how everything works. This is critical. So the next issue is, you got to ask the question, who's winning this? Who's winning what? Who is winning this Ukraine thing? Well, what do you mean by win? I don't know about when, but where is this going to end? How is it going to end? What is going to happen? Did you ever hear about that on CNN? Nope. What do you think? And this is the thing which always drives me crazy. What do you think is the official end? See, if you don't know, it's very simple. If you don't know the end of a war effort, you're wasting your time. So what is it that they specifically want to happen? Tell me. What is it? Do you want Putin to say, "Okay, I give up, I'm leaving"? I'm going to what? They can't even answer the question because they don't know. Because you've got children who were working in these newsrooms who are hoping to God at CNN that Zaslav doesn't come in and just sell them to whoever. They have no idea. I'll bet you they've never looked at a map. They have no idea about anything. Nothing. Let me say this again. They don't know what they're talking about. Next, if you walked into any of those, if you walked into these newsrooms, these sets, and you sat down and said, "Can I ask you a question?" And by the way, time out. Never, ever, ever abandon your common sense. Never, ever, I don't care who you are. Remember, juries who handle multi-billion-dollar, very complicated pieces of litigation, those are just people off the street. The people who are going to be handling the fate of President Trump are people off the street. Not experts, but moms and dads and people who happen to vote. So don't give me this stuff about, well, you don't know enough about it. No, if you're a regular human being and you've got questions, you ask this question. Question number 1. How many troops did Putin send in there initially? And if he wanted to really just wipe that place, just wipe it up, would he have used those few? No. What was his initial, what did he say initially? Anybody, any idea? I have no idea. What did he say when the military operation started? And what do you call a military operation? What do you call this thing? I don't know. Okay, fine. Is Zelensky going to be a part of NATO? Do you know anything about that? We're still talking about that? What was the story? Some folks, well, and the thing is, you don't know what Putin said because they're not letting you talk. You're not letting you hear what he said. But what his folks said initially was that the military operation will show you I mean business, but certainly with this, the United States, who really is NATO? There is no NATO. We're NATO. Come on. What are you talking about? We're NATO. But somebody thought perhaps maybe stupidly that once this started, we would come in and we would say, okay, it's enough. Let's talk about this. Okay, fine. What do you want? And everybody initially thought that what they wanted was Ukraine to be, in essence, a rump state, a kind of, I don't want to say like a Finland or something, or just some country that is there, that enjoys whatever it wants, live in harmony, do your thing, but you're not going to be a part of NATO. This is what was said from the beginning. It's not like Greg Lake here, ELP. From the beginning, this is what was said. Nothing's changed. And if they say, okay, fine, no more NATO, all right, good, bad. Or maybe you might say, it doesn't matter. That's really not what he means. He wants to reconsolidate the Soviet Union. He wants to put the Soviet Union back. He wants to take all of these fractured, after the collapse of the Soviet Union in 91 or whatever, he wants to put them back together. This was actually advanced by some 20-year-old at CNN. Are you kidding me? Are you listening? Did you hear what George Kennan said? No. Did you hear what Kissinger said? Did you hear what everybody said? And Mearsheimer is still the genius with this. No, because nobody knows anything about it. They don't know anything about it. Do you think Prigozhin, I've been saying this, do you think Prigozhin, I don't understand. I don't understand, and I'll be the first one. Here's what I don't understand. Maybe you can help me with this. Putin is supposed to be this maniacal, homicidal maniac who takes people out in all imaginable ways. And Prigozhin's going to walk away from this and say, okay, that's okay, Evgeny. It's okay. That's okay. No, because they're all friends. They are friends. Does any of this make sense to you? No. So that's rule number 2. What do? You go elsewhere. You go to foreign news sources. You read what Russians are saying and Chinese are saying and Asians and Germans and alternative media, alternative citizen, civilian, and foreign media. You don't listen to CNN. CNN is dead man walking. Don't you understand? They're hanging on to something. You've got the inmates in charge of the asylum. You've got the inmates who double-crossed Chris Licht. I don't want to get too inside baseball, but they had a thing for Zucker. And Zaslav says, screw this. I'm into entertainment. This ain't worth my time. I'll just sell it. You do whatever you want with it and buy it. And have to deal with these children. The same children they saw at the New York Times. The same children they saw who they went after Dean Baquet. Remember that? When they had that town meeting? They were saying, hey, you can't have that the column or that opinion piece by, I forget who it was. You can't do that. What do you mean we can't do that? What do you mean we can't do that? And they put up with this. Ladies and gentlemen, Crooner Smith, thank you, Crooner. Tooraloo-rala, thank you so much. An Irish lullaby, thank you so much, Crooner. Thank you for your kindness, thank you. Listen to what other people are saying. Have you listened, we mentioned last night the Duran and Colonel McGregor, even Judge Napolitano and other people, and just foreign folks. Have you heard this? Oh, look at this. Kathy Borsky just wanted to say thank you for your thoughts and all your hard work. Kathy, you are too kind. I thank you immensely for that. That is so very, very sweet. And that's for you. I send crepitations to you for that. You know, Kathy and Crooner, what I'm trying to do is I'm going to say, I want you to know how to think about this thing. That's the thing. So right now, as we speak, you've got to triangulate. The next thing, whenever somebody says to you that what you're saying is crazy, that's the answer. You're on to something. That's a conspiracy theory. You're on to something. You're on to something. You're on to something. May I beg you for your indulgence for some more Java? Mine ran out, and I am now, yes, I am at the end of my, I'm starting to hit vapors, and I need my caffeine. Thank you, dear heart. Thank you so much. I normally don't do that, but I just looked at, there's nothing there. And I can't do this unless I get... Caffeine is a drug. Don't let anybody kid you. It's a drug. It's not merely a drink. In any event, whenever you say something where they say, this is crazy. Let me give you an example. And I'm changing the subject a lot. So this is part of our course. So get used to it, and I'm sure you can handle that. This week, I still love this story about the Titanic Sub that doesn't make any sense to me at all. I don't get it. It's so nuts. And what I'm seeing now is this attempt on the part of the various media that are, I think it was, what was his name? I think it was BBC. And they did this piece that came out on, who was it? Stockton Rush. What the hell is his name? Oh, what was his name? You know what I'm talking about. There was this, was that his name? Hang on. It was, there we go. Yes, Stockton Rush. Now, here, they're saying, do you think maybe we should have an investigation? Do you think maybe we might want to have a criminal investigation into this? Gee, do you think? You mean where all of those billionaires were found dead? You mean that? You think it's interesting? You think it might be interesting for there to be I don't know, maybe an investigation? I think that'd be a good idea. I think that'd be a swell idea. I think that would be terrific. Thank you for doing that. Thank you for having an investigation to look into this. Thank you, dear heart. It's great to have that. Why don't you do that? That's just wonderful. Just let people. Sure, maybe. We have an investigation here in New York City of a brave Marine, a Good Samaritan, who basically took out somebody who was threatening to kill passengers, and they charged him criminally for helping people. He wasn't out bothering people. The guy who's dead was out bothering people. That's the bad guy. So if you have an investigation in that, I think you should have an investigation in this. Now let me continue. Let me park the Russian story just for a second. When it comes to this story, I look at Newsweek, and Newsweek, oh my God. Newsweek never disappoints. Never disappoints. They come up with this crazy, well, I shouldn't say crazy. It's not really crazy. But they say that crazy conspiracy theorists are now putting connections between the collapse of the Titanic Sub with the Titanic, or the Titan Sub rather, with the Titanic in 1912, and the Rothschilds and the Federal Reserve and the Freemasons and these crazy people who were pulling all this stuff, and they're saying, aha. Now, what do you think that does? What's the first thing that does? The first thing that does, it makes people say, you know what, I'm going to look into this. You know what? I'm going to look into this. This is pretty good. This is pretty interesting. Well, let me look into this. Tell me more about this. What was this again? About the who? About the what? Okay, I'll look into it. Tell me about that. So who were these people? Astor and Isidore Strauss, and okay, yeah. And there was this, and then they had the at the time was there was a J.P. Morgan, and there was a problem with the central bank, and okay, that's interesting. Now, I'm thinking, like a lot of people are thinking, you know, if this is indeed, if the Titanic, I know we're actually talking about this, was indeed an attempt on the part of the pro-central bank crew to get rid of these big bank fools, that's a lot of work. That's a lot of work to make sure that that thing breaks apart and falls, and just, I mean, that is some, in 1912 no less, to take out all these people. And supposedly all of the good guys supposedly got off the boat right away, okay? Now, instead of saying to somebody, you know, that's very interesting. That's very interesting. Could it happen? Of course it could happen. How likely was it to happen? No. No, they say, no, that was already debunked. Excuse me, how was that debunked? I'm just curious. How was that debunked? Who debunked it? How do you debunk that? How did you eliminate that as a possibility? Sparky says, Wagner owners' antics expose regime change plotters in Belarus. At least Russian Federation was able to aim their loose cannon. Thank you, Sparky. You know, one thing about that, which we'll get to, is that, and let me jump back into the Russian thing and to answer your very kind question, and hand crepitations to you as well. This was the dumbest thing ever. Let me stop now. Remember, I hope you can do this. We're going to stop with the Titan. We're going to go back to the Russian thing for just a moment. One of the things which you always have to use, and please don't say Occam's razor. Don't be one of these people to say Occam's razor. Please, I beg you, do not say Occam's razor. And by the way, we need likes. We need at least 400 likes today. We need 400 likes. that makes a tremendous difference in terms of how we spread the word. We need 400 likes, and I thank you for that. Don't want to be heavy-handed. But one of the things you have to ask yourself is, does something make sense? How hard was it to do? And just how the motivation and all that other kind of jazz. Okay. And how likely is it to accomplish that with which you want? Let's go through Prigozhin. Who has not heard? Who, by virtue of the Western media and other media, who has not heard of the, dare I say, the uncompromising alleged lethality of Vladimir Putin, who everybody calls a thug, including Bobby Kennedy and Time Out. I mentioned this last night. Bobby, are you taking gear? Are you taking junk? Or not junk? Are you taking, what's the word? What do you call it? Gear stuff? Is he taking PEDs? I don't know how to tell. Is he taking some kind of supplement? You know what I mean? I don't know if they even use the word steroids. I don't know. But you're almost 70 years old, and you're putting on muscle like that? Come on, man. Bobby, say it ain't so. Don't fall for that. You had me there, buddy boy. Please don't do a Chris Cuomo. Remember Chris Cuomo? Remember Fredo? Fredo went nuts. Look how much I can lift. That's good, Fredo. No. I'm strong. Okay. No. Look. He had 100-pound dumbbells behind the neck extension. 100 pounds. You'd be back in the chair. I mean, just say, dude, what is the matter with these people? You're a man. Grow like a man. Act like a man. Quit acting like a child. You're doing push-ups. My God, what is the matter? Bradley Opland says, in my experiences, there are two kinds of bad lawyers. Ones who throw anything at the wall to see what sticks, and ones that will let the building accrue. Well, there are more versions of that. May I also talk about something, Bradley, nobody ever talks about, bad clients. You never hear about that one, do you? Oh, yeah, I never thought about that. Yes, but thank you very much, good sir. Good to see you again. Okay. Back to Russia. So do you think that Prigozhin stands up and basically, when Putin this is really the fight, I don't want to say the fight of his life, but during these important, critical times, Prigozhin standing up and saying all this stuff and basically ratting him out so that the rest of the Western media can say, see, there he goes. It's all falling apart. Do you know how stupid that is? How monumentally stupid that is for him to do this? Does that make any sense? Is he crazy? And they say, oh, no. They're good friends. They're good friends? Do you really, honestly think, seriously, they're good friends? I mean, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Just a second. So let me stop right there. It doesn't make any sense. I don't understand it. And I don't want to predict any kind of police. I'm no doomsayer, but Prigozhin, be careful, man. CNBC came out with this one. Look at this. CNBC, this came out today at right after midnight. Russian mercenary chief Prigozhin is a dead man walking, Eurasia Group's Ian Bremmer says. So then we've got that. So do you see how complicated this is? Does any of this make any sense? And do you think there's any chance whatsoever that the bought and sold, wholly owned subsidiary group of these people are saying, well, we can't say that. Why? Well, that would imply that Putin still is powerful and he's able to exact all this change and revenge, and that's contrary to the story of his being washed up. So no, don't say this. Because remember, Just explain something. CNN is dead man walking. They're going to close the doors at any time. They don't know what to do. So they're going to do everything in their power to get eyes on that. Okay, that's number one. Let me go back again now. I'm switching back to the Titan Sub business. Do you know anything about the history of central banks, the Federal Reserve? You see, when people say the word Rothschild, you're trained, or they're trained for you to say, oh, anti-Semite. What? Anti-Semite? Yeah, you're being anti-Semitic. I can't tell you the number of people who know nothing about the Jewish connection between, or Judaism, Jewish, whatever, between them and Rothschild. Just like Bill Gates. There are these words you use. Bill Gates, central bank, Jeff Bezos, Rothschild. You just see these terms. Big money, big. Don't you get it? So they're not making this connection. Best Buy. Just giving you money to tell you that we suck. Thank you, Best Buy. Appreciate it. And I like your style, by the way. Years ago, they did this. See, there's two things they do. There is anti-Semitism. Oh, my God, absolutely. But please make sure you get it correctly. Years ago, they were doing this to Pat Buchanan. Pat Buchanan would use the word neocon. And they would say, that's anti-Semitic. It's like, wait a minute. Where'd you get that from? Leo Strauss? Yes, because there tend to be a pro-Israeli. It's like, that's not what they're saying. Because remember, the people who are the wholly owned subsidiaries of these folks, they want to do everything in their power to stop you from speaking. Let me give you another example. If during the pandemic, if anybody said, whatever anyone says about anything, if they think that Twinkies caused coronavirus, let them say it. They will swarm themselves in insanity by virtue of what they're saying. Let them say it. Just like during the Kennedy assassination. You think it was a grassy knoll. You think it was Mac Wallace. You think it was LBJ. You think it was the CIA. You think it was the FBI. You think it was Jackie. You think it was an actual Secret Service agent whose gun malfunctioned. You think all that stuff? You go ahead. You go ahead and you do it. Have at it. Please, I beg you, have at it. Go ahead. Okay? Seriously. This is what we're talking about right now. If you let people say what they want, crazy, stupid, whatever it is, if you let them do it, they just go away. But they don't do that. They turn it up. So now you've got a whole bunch of people saying, wait a minute. What's this Titanic story about the what? The Macy's and the Federal Reserve? Wait a minute, what was that? Thank you. And if I didn't know better, I think you'd want that to happen. Now the next move. I respect you and your ability to ask a question that makes sense. I respect your ability to be able to say, I don't buy this story. I don't buy this. This is what I think. These are questions I have to ask. And if I'm wrong, prove me wrong. Okay. Some of the greatest stuff that is going on right now, there is a big battle in the world of particle physics and physics between Eric Weinstein and Ed Whitton and all these other people, and oh my God, there's about particle physics, it's about quantum gravity and everything, and that's called heresy. That's called, trust the science. No, they're not trusting the science. In every other walk of life, you debate, you argue, you say, no, I don't believe in that. That's ridiculous. It wasn't a one-gun theory, it was a two-gun theory, it was this. But they want you, especially that miserable, horrible CNN, they want you to just shut up. And they're passing on the word because they're turning to their masters and saying, please, don't shut us down. And Zaslav is saying, you're worthless. You're worthless. You're nothing. You're not worth my time. I'm here bottom line. I want to go into streaming and entertainment. I don't need this. I don't need these children in your newsroom fighting and calling me names. I don't need this. These are the people who believe that they can just crowd strike and say, you don't understand. Do some weird... By the way, two separate stories. Again, another plate. Remember, Eric Brin years ago was a fellow on... by the way, we need 300 likes. Please, we're almost there. We need 300. We need 400, but please, for the likes. I know it sounds... but it helps. Anyway. Years ago, there was a guy, Eric Brin. Eric Brin had a bowl, and he would spin the bowl, and then the next bowl, and he'd spin that, and a plate, and he'd go like that, and they'd have all these plates, and he'd have to go back to one and re-spinning that one to keep it going. So that's what we have to do. We talk about Russia, then we go to the next one, and we got to go back again. Talk about Russia, go back here. Talk about Titan, go back. Talk about Joe Biden. Talk about... We've got a bunch of plates going at the same time, so get ready. This is what life is. This is reality. This is it. It just happens. So a couple of things are happening. Number one, last night we read the story about Elton John is on his 100th farewell tour. I don't know how many farewell tours he's had, but at least 100. And he's in Scotland at Glastonbury or whatever the hell it is. There's like 200,000 people. They stopped counting. Why is that good? That's good because people are coming back. Mrs. L pointed this out. Because people are coming back. People are saying, we're tired of this. People are coming back. They're saying, we don't want to be inside. We don't want to be away. We don't want to wear a mask and inside and behind our computer and getting takeout and DoorDash and hiding. And no, we don't want to do that. The second thing, which is very interesting, guess what's making a big comeback? Speed dating. Speed dating is making a huge comeback because people are saying we want interaction again. We want interaction. We might want to go out and date. What does that mean? Heterosexuality is going to make a comeback like you can't believe. Why do I say that? New plate. The other day we're having a little dinner with a friend of ours, and they have their son with them. He's like 11 years old. And I don't know... This is me. I don't know if you feel like this. But every kid I meet, I would be a terrible pediatrician. I think something wrong with him. Something wrong with this kid. He's not making eye contact. He's playing with his game the whole time. He mumbles. He's weird. He acts like a baby. This is everywhere. Have you noticed this? I don't know what I'm thinking, but... Remember the other day you said there was a child you met somewhere. You said, I can't believe this kid's so good. Oh, yeah. On a flight, this kid's like, this is fantastic. Because these kids are just, there's something not. And how do you tell somebody, I think your kid's nuts? What's wrong with him? Something's weird. How old? It's like an infant. Okay. But hear me out. He's 11 years old. Doesn't know about girls. Not there yet. You know, people have a kind of a, maybe, I don't know about you. You might have been a late bloomer. You might have, not liking them, but knowing that you like them or knowing that they're different. You know, when you're a kid, you notice they're different. They're not the same. Of course. No, I don't mean that. I mean they're different. I used to kind of think they were icky, and I don't necessarily think they're icky anymore. Something's up. This is that moment of kind of evolution where it's starting to unravel. And 90% of people are that way. Whatever the number is. Okay. So this 11-year-old kid, little boy, I guess, his class, they have a coming out day. Now think about this. He's at his school. He's not sure yet about girls. And he doesn't know stuff. And if you tell him, this is what we wear these shoes and not this backpack and not this, we say this, whatever it is. He doesn't know. He will do whatever it is to be cool. Then they say there's a coming out day. What's that? It's to come out if you're gay. To come out if you're gay? Who's gay? Am I gay? Well, no. Well, wait a minute. Why are they having this? Because they're coming out. He's 8 years old. How does he know? I don't know what I am. How does he know? Well, we don't know. Should they have something for us? No, we don't. You don't have anything for us? No. Nothing for us? I'm not coming out, I'm becoming. How about that? Just becoming. I'm becoming a heterosexual. No. Okay, well, maybe I'm gay. Okay, I'll say that. Some kids are so stupid, they'll say, well, I'll be gay then. If that's good, right? I mean, they're having all the fun. They've got all the balloons. They're jumping up and down. I'm standing like here like a schmuck. What am I? Well, I guess I'm coming out too. I guess. That's exactly what happens. What I just told you is exactly what he thinks. Exactly. You can't believe what's going on here. And I'm sure you do, but this is going on here. Now, other people are saying, you know what? No, this is not for everybody. You see, little Timmy or whoever you're a heterosexual, and what you're feeling now is the normal feeling that you feel when you're getting older and you're approaching puberty. What they're feeling, we're not passing judgment on it, but that's not you. Yeah, but they're coming out. No. That's you see, kids don't get this. They don't understand. It's like you telling a kid, you're a Republican. I'm a Republican. What the hell does that mean? Yes, because mommy and daddy are Republicans, and we like Trump, and you're a Trump. Okay. And also, by the way, you're a Baptist. I'm a Baptist? What does that mean? Kids aren't ready for that. Janine the Queen says, my neighbors with children have the progressive flag with the triangle on it. How do they explain it to their children? Janine, thank you. I don't know. But Janine, the good news is there's this speed dating where people are coming out and they're saying, guess what? We want to go out and we want to go on dates. Let me tell you what else we're going to need one time. Ready for this, Janine? You're not going to believe me, but I'm telling you. You're going to have, just like there's service dogs and there's, I don't know, they used to have these things called etiquette coaches or classes. I don't know what you want to call it. But, you're going to have somebody who says, we're going to show you how to date, how to maybe flirt, how to pick somebody up, how to go to a bar, how to write a note, how to be nice, because you've been for the longest time with your psych meds, staring at computers and machines. You don't make eye contact, you don't shake hands, you mumble, you act like a 12-year-old, and you're in your 30s. And now you're trying to fight this, and we're going to deprogram you. Actually, we're going to program you. To reprogram you, for default setting, we're going to reboot you as to what nature gave you. Now, not everybody works out like that, but you do, because you don't know what you're doing. You are a social misfit. So before you go on these speed datings, you got to ask yourself a question. Do you scare people? Do you come across like was it Arthur Shawcross or one of these serial killers? You scare the hell out of people. We need 400 likes. Please, my friends. Please. I beg you. I entreat and beseech. You look around you. Now, I know I've talked about Putin, Titanic, the Titan Sub, now this and Elton John. And we're seeing this. We're seeing this right now. The other day, I'm going to say this again to you. You tell me where I'm wrong. Imagine you're a kid and you don't know what the hell's going on. Sparky says, when I went to school in the 70s, hetero coming out was us guys square dancing with the girls in PE. Well, there you go. In fact, Sparky, by the way, thank you, Spark. In Catholic school, a friend of mine said that there was a a ruler is the Holy Ghost distance to keep the distance you should be from a girl for the Holy Ghost or something like that. They kind of even talked about that. Now, that's not to say that we should abandon gay people, because I think there are kids who say, I always knew I was gay, but I didn't know what I was thinking. I didn't know what it was then, but now in retrospect, it was gay. I didn't know. Okay, that makes sense. You don't want to push this. But when you tell somebody, a kid, that this is the way it is, give you another example. In the Lower East Side, they had, now gay pride turns into drag, but not just drag parades. Scary, John Waters, divine, dystopian, horror, Halloween, some of the most frightening people you've ever seen in your life, lurking about, who are, sad to say, very, very sad to say, but who are frighteningly, kids don't know what's going on. They look and they say, what's this? This is a scary, like a monster. They think it, especially here in New York, you think, oh, this is Halloween, right? This is Halloween. This is Halloween. I don't know how to say it other than that's Halloween. This is a Halloween performance or something like that, I guess. So as they're walking through the streets, you hear chants. It used to be, we're here, we're queer, we're here, or we're here, we're queer, we're back every year or something. That used to be the old shibboleth or mantra. Today is, we're queer, we're here, and we're coming for your children. Now imagine this. You're a kid, and you see some 7 foot tall, scary, I don't mean attractive or nice, like, hello. We're not talking Tinkerbell and, glitter and, hey, but more like, ah. What is this doing? So the good news is, people are saying, no, we want to go back. Remember what I'm telling you. The pendulum is going to swing back like a wrecking ball. You remember that. Okay, dear friends, I thank you for that. Sparky, you've been phenomenally great. Janine the Queen, thank you for your kindness. Best Buy, thank you as well. Bradley Oplin, B.O., thank you. Kathy Borsky, how so incredibly nice and kind of you. Crooner Smith, thank you as well. And you are just wonderful. By the way, we need 400, just 400. We need 18 more likes and we're done. That's all. We're done. Please follow us here on YouTube. Please subscribe to the channel. Please subscribe to the channel. Oh. I don't know. And what we need to do, you are so right, I forgot about this. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to follow Mrs. L right now, right this moment, this is her thing. You just click onto this, and it is so fast and so perfect. There it is. This is Mrs. L's YouTube channel, right there. Just go right now to it. Just click it on that number, and it is so terrific because you've got to hear what's going on regarding children. She is the lone voice in this world where people do not want to hear her because she is inconvenient. One more time, please do this. I ask you, out of the kindness of our hearts, thank you so much. All right, dear friends, you were wonderful. See you tonight at 7 p.m. Thank you for your love. Thank you for your courage. Thank you for your curiosity. And thank you for your bravery, because that's what it takes. Until 7 p.m., this is your new best friend, Lionel and Mrs. L, at that link, by the way, reminding you, the monkey's dead, the show's over, sue ya, ta-ta.